But behind closed doors, I'm a fool for your love.
What's up, guys? How's it going? Today I have what I'm hesitant to call another rant because that seems to be all we do here on this channel, but I guess we're just an angry group of people, Mason and I. But what I'm here to rant about is college and what I have come to learn about college and how this whole system works. And I know a lot of you, since this is a mostly gaming channel, are probably around this age. You're either younger, somewhere in high school, maybe 10th, 11th grade, maybe you're younger in middle school, or maybe you're all the way in college and this is just, I'm talking to you as you're going through it as well. But I kind of want to go on some of the bull that I've kind of come across in college. And I have, to give you a little background, I'm a junior here at West Virginia University, second semester junior. Counting this semester, I will be at 94 credit hours. So I have taken 4 to 5 classes. I think even the first semester I took 6 classes a semester, full-time student, and to date, let's try to find out, I'm actually looking at my official transcript right now, exactly how many classes that I have done that is prominent in my major. So I've got this semester 2 marketing classes, and my last semester I had 2 marketing classes, and I've taken 3 psychology courses. So, you know, you take about 7 classes that have to do with my major or my minor, and that's about 21 of the hours that I've actually been here. And then take the 96, subtract 21, I have got 60 or so hours, 60 or 70 hours. Don't make fun of me for the math, I didn't do any of this ahead of time. But 60 or something hours that I have been in college, not doing anything resulting in my major, not doing anything that even, I guess, remotely helps me become a better marketer. And that's, not entirely true. Some of the things that I did need as a background, having things like micro and macroeconomics and some of those classes, yes, I do understand that it's going to help me. But at the same time, you are required to do so many classes that just have absolutely no business doing if you're trying to become a better marketer or you're trying to become a graphic designer. For example, I had to take geology, or what they call Planet Earth Laboratory, or Planet Earth, and I had to take that as my freshman class. And I just don't see any need for this. Why am I being thrown in to this class when I don't need to? I am paying $30,000 a year to go to this school. And I had to sit through a class where she cut into an avocado, and she, being my teacher, she cut into an avocado and taught us about where the crust of the earth is, where the molten part is, in all the different layers. And I'm just sitting here everyone at this campus has been to middle school or high school where we have gone through the layers of the earth. Do we really need to go through this again in Geology 101? Do I really need to pay this much money to try to learn this again? It just seems like an absolutely ridiculous thing. And then we had the laboratory, which was another credit hour that was a waste of my time, where, I kid you not, for one class, we went around campus, and I'm talking about the entire campus, on a 97-degree day, and I learned what each individual building was made out of, which stone it was built out of. So if any of you guys want to come to West Virginia and you're interested to know what Stansbury Hall is built out of, or you're interested to know what rock formation Brooks Hall was built on, I'm the guy for you. Also, we have a great granite sign outside of our campus, just outside when you're entering it. Beautiful granite sign. I paid $30,000 just for that sign so I could understand what that sign was made out of and when it was made. And it's things like that where, why not just put me into a Principles of Marketing class? Why not put me into a class that's built on projects so I can actually learn what my major is? I don't understand how me spending 3 to 4 days a week in that class has helped me become a well-rounded person. Because the only way I can kind of guess that this kind of way of school, or the way of education is that you're trying to make students well-rounded, and you're trying to have them have a broad knowledge of multiple things and not just whatever major they're in. But at the same time, it's just, if you're going to let them do this, let them pick actual classes that are going to matter to them. So this is actually just last semester. I don't need to go into every class that's given me an issue. History of philosophy, I don't want to argue too much about. It was a worthless class because other than my father, what are you going to do with a psychology degree or a philosophy degree? And I actually enjoyed it, and it's the only reason I'm not going to complain about it. Another one that's kind of introduction to sociology. I don't think that was a really needed class. I really didn't learn anything that was prevalent. Although, just like the philosophy one, I found it interesting, so I was able to sit through it, and it was something that I was like, fine, I'll take it. But last semester, my start of my junior year, I took a 20th century American popular music class, and if there was one class that I would sit there and say, why the hell am I here? It was that one. I am a junior in college. I have completed already at least 60 credit hours to get here. I don't understand why I am not in a third marketing class or why I am not doing something that was prevalent in my major. I don't understand. I sat through this class every day and I just listened to music and listened to my teacher talk about different musicians and artists and the evolution of music in the 20th century. And for some reason, that's a required class. That is one of our GECs. It satisfies one of our general elective courses. It was like Western Civilization, the history of Western Civ, and that was one of the classes. And I think here's where my problem lies. It's not the fact that I had to take some class that's music. I actually enjoy music, so it was the best option out of this list of 20. But if you're going to force kids to take a general elective, if you're going to force us to take these classes to make us a better rounded person, why not make it better yourself? Now, everyone in that class was doing it because it was the easiest one on the list. The other ones was like the history of blank and blank, or the history of this kind of civilization. And unless you're interested in that, you're going to choose the easy way out. And I'm not saying 20th century American pop music was the easiest, but at the same time, it was the one that people were like, all right, either listen to music or learn about a civilization that we don't really care about, and it has nothing to do with our major, so why are we doing it? Why not make your GEC courses things like flag football? Why not make it introduction to basketball, introduction to weightlifting, or make it something like how to eat correctly, or just something health related? And this is what really irks me, because my mom, who thinks I'd be great at doing something like that, I don't understand why that's not an option. Like, I was literally not allowed to take a health class or a class that resulted in weightlifting or something unless I was adding onto my 15 credit hours. I had to choose pop music or something that is completely just worthless to and it's a waste of my time to do. But at the same time, the university is not trying to let me do a class that I have something interested in or that will actually help me. Why not get kids in and try to help them become more just physically in shape? Why not give them weightlifting classes they'll be able to use for the rest of their life, classes that actually have a purpose in building a better person and making them more well-rounded? Why just throw them into a music class where and I kid you not, kids were coming in drunk, smelling like wine and beer, because, that's how kind of worthless of a class it was. It was the class that they had to come drunk, otherwise they weren't going to come at all. And it's just kind of the fault of the education, I think, is that for some reason these universities just feel the need to force these classes on you when in reality they could be building a better class. You could be building secondary classes that work with your major, like a marketing class where you actually create a marketing campaign, you actually do something that you want to do, or if you're interested in the health and fitness like I am, it would give you a chance to learn something else, to build upon knowledge that would actually help you further down the line. And they just don't offer enough classes like that. Even things like cooking. I think having a cooking class that would be a GEC elective for any of them would be fantastic. You teach college kids how to cook, how to make a meal. They've been making ramen for 3 years. Why not teach them actually how to cook a nutritious breakfast or a nutritious lunch and how to budget it that way and how to, create and make food for the week so they're not worried about doing it every day. How to budget your money, how to pay taxes, or how to have a class of let's just call it Intelligence 101, where you learn how to change a tire or you learn how to just do things that actually matter in society instead of just giving us bull and giving us these classes that people just don't care about. And then lastly, I'm going to go into a class that was major specific, but a class that I think it perfectly shows the kind of failure of the ability to teach these classes and just the failure of the overall outline of these classes. And For me, it was personal selling 10 or 320. And I went into this class actually really excited. My actual job, I do sales. I just sell some devices out of a storefront, but it's sales nonetheless, and there's some expensive devices, so it is kind of high-priced or high-tech sales. And I entered this class knowing, I know how to sell, but hopefully this will teach me some other ways to sell and teach me some ways to be better at it. But going into this class, the entire class, and this actually goes for not just the entry-level personal selling class, but what they call personal selling 2 and up, it was entirely based on role plays. And for me, I think that is the biggest load of just bullshit, because I'm entering a class with a bunch of other 21, 22-year-olds, and we have to get in groups of 4 and do these role plays together, 1-on-1 or 2-on-2, or I think there was actually one that's also 1-on-2. But at the same time, we're doing these role plays and we're doing these selling situations that we supposedly know how to do or that supposedly go on in the real world. But the guy across from me was drunk at a club 2 days ago. And it's just like, if you're going to put me in a selling situation, you're going to make me do role plays. Why not have me role play against someone who actually knows what's going on in the business world? The guy across from me, and we were talking about this before the role play, knows no more about selling than I did. He knows no more about, what that situation would be like. Like, how is this 20-year-old supposed to know what going into a Google headquarters and selling to their CEO would be like? He has no idea. And that goes for every company. I couldn't walk into a McDonald's and enter this selling situation and be like, oh yeah, this roleplay was exactly like it. During the roleplays, I could pretty much say whatever I want and bullshit my way through it, and it would have been alright. I invited the guy to a barbecue and watched the Browns game and was like, yeah, you'll try our barbecues because that's the product we're selling. You try our barbecues, we'll do a grill out, you invite your family, and we'll have a great time. And that was like, oh, that's a good idea, that's how you sell. But I guarantee you, if I'm trying to sell barbecue to the company Stubbs, which is who we were kind of mimicking, I guarantee you it wouldn't go like that. I guarantee you inviting him to a Browns game with my family would not be a legitimate way to sell a product. And it shocks me that this is the class that I am paying for, and this is the higher education that I pay for. It's just, there's no thought to it. If you want me to sell something, if you want to teach me how to sell using a hands-on roleplay, I am all for it. But if you're going to do that, at least have the decency to use someone who knows what that kind of situation is like. Bring in ex-executives or bring in alumni who love still working with the university and love still benefiting the university, but bring them in and we can try to sell to them and they actually know what that environment is like. But putting me against a 20-year-old who plays Xbox for 10 hours a day and who has no idea what the class is about and who has no idea and has really no job experience except for the McDonald's he works at here to pay his tuition, it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make sense as a class. I left that class knowing no more about personal selling or no more about selling than when I went in. And I think this is where I need to end my rant. Essentially what I just want to overall what I want my entire kind of thing to be is that I think this whole system is kind of flawed in the sense of I don't think a lot of these classes are teaching or being effective as they can. And I told some of my teachers this, and it's just, if you're going to do this, have it focus on how it's going to be in the real world. Like, if you're going to make me do a project, if you're going to make me do this, have it mirror exactly what I'm going to have to do in the job market. All these teachers and all these professors have such incredible credentials. They have years and years of selling or years and years of marketing, or they have all this knowledge under their belt, but they're kind of stuck doing whatever the board and whatever they have decided for them to do and to teach. And I think you have to let these professors take what they know, take their knowledge, and build projects and build and just build hands-on sessions of what the real world to them was like. Because I guarantee you, I wouldn't be doing music or doing these personal selling role plays against other kids if these teachers were able to take what they were doing in the real world and mirror that in a class. I'm going to end the video here. I hope you guys enjoyed it in whatever gameplay I decide to put behind this. But as always, like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. If you don't like the rant and you'd rather just see me talk about gameplay, please comment that below. But stay achieving, guys.